The Cleveland Browns are out of a starting quarterback and by the name of Deshaun Watson. He's out for the year with the Achilles injury. Jameis Winston will be getting the nod for the Cleveland Browns. So that'll be fun to watch. Also, apparently, there's been a switch with play calling duties. That now goes over to Ken Dorsey, according to Kevin Stefanski, who spoke about the decision.
I'm very confident in Ken, and I'm very confident in our offensive staff. I feel that this is, when you're talking about playing good football and putting game plans together, it's never one person's job. It's really a collaborative effort. So I have a ton of faith in all of our coaches. Ken calling the plays doesn't change that collaborative approach. Every single week I'm looking at things that we can do better and we need to improve. Felt like this is the right move for right now.
All right. So interesting timing. Deshaun Watson's out, and apparently so is Kevin Stefanski when it comes to calling plays. I don't know what the plan is there. I don't know what exactly the thought behind it is, but Braden, your Cleveland Browns still trying to give you hope for that Super Bowl pick you made. Still trying.
Yeah, I mean, here's the hard part about all this is it's hard to get a sense for why this is taking place. There's been obviously there's been an injury at quarterback. You have Jameis Winston now is going to be starting. If you're Stefanski, why wouldn't you want to keep this offense, this team kind of not have to deal with more change? You already have the issue at the quarterback, so that's going to be a bigger change. Why not, stick with it for another week or two or something? You put Ken Dorsey into it, and maybe it won't be that big of a change. I mean, obviously the offense isn't really changing. It's just the personality of who's calling the plays. And that's at least how I think it's going to work. I mean, imagine being a play caller who has to have someone looking over their shoulder and you can't call the game the way you'd like to. So in this instance, you'd think that he's giving Ken Dorsey full autonomy of the offense, how he wants to game plan it, how he sees things, how he wants to call games. And if that's the case, that'll be an adjustment for everyone involved, That's where I look at this and just go, all right, like what's going on? Is this Kevin Stefanski who feels like he's trying to, save himself in some way? Is it just trying to find a spark in some way? I mean, Jameis Winston might bring that alone. I'm not sure why he has to relinquish play calling duties to Ken Dorsey if he thought going into the season that was what was best for this team. Or, for example, that's why he got the head coaching job in the first place, is his offensive acumen. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. And again, that tense conversation moment we had the other week when we were talking about him making the final decision and who's involved or whatever's happening and how is this all playing out. I think this is a continuation of those conversations that are taking place behind closed doors. I really do. I look at where Stefanski is. He's a fine ball coach. He's a fine leader of men. I've gotten to know him personally and just speak. I feel like I could speak highly of him, of my experiences that I've had with him.
Stefanski?
Yeah.
Seems like he grows a beard fast. Like if that guy shaved at 2 o'clock, by 2:30 he'd be full growth.
Maybe. Some like Wolverine type stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just really believe that him making the decisions that he's making, he's ultimately trying to appease whatever it is that he's dealing with behind closed doors. I really do. I really believe this guy is taking one for the team. And whatever decision that he's making, the decisions that he's making them based off of trying to keep the ship afloat and trying to keep the morale where it needs to be and trying to lead this team. He just doesn't seem to be the type that would run away from a challenge, doesn't seem to be the type that would not, really, really be in a position where he feels as though he can, come out successful with the scenario. I mean, he's won Coach of the Year for a reason.
Twice.
So to me, for him to be making some of the decisions that he's making right now, I think there's an influence there. I think there's a lot of, if I'm just speaking from what I would assume, there's probably a whole lot of tension in that building based upon decisions that have been made in the past whether it be from the letting Baker go to the tremendously large signing of Deshaun Watson. There is a lot of tension there, and maybe it even came to a head when Deshaun Watson goes down with that injury, because for Myles Garrett to come out as probably the pronounced leader of this team and speak on how he felt about, supporting Deshaun Watson and stuff like that. I just think that there are a lot of players that probably feel a certain type of way that's going on right now. Definitely ownership, decision makers feel a certain type of way right now. And Kevin Stefanski probably feels a certain type of way right now. And they're losing.
It's like combing the hair of a corpse, though. They're
Oh,
dead.
wow.
They're dead.
It's dead. It's not waking back up again.
So what's the point?
This isn't going to be the Undertaker where it pops back out of the casket.
It's over. Just let it be.
I believe in Jameis. I want to be on the record. I believe in Jameis. All right. I thought the Raiders should have went and gotten him, traded for him before the season. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to ignite something in this team. Now, it hurts, when you get rid of Amari Cooper, and he obviously has already played his impact for Buffalo. And you've got this change in play caller, but I think Jameis Winston ignites this team. We saw last year, they figured out how to do it with some backup quarterbacks and get to the playoffs. I'm not saying they get to the playoffs, but I do think they're going to start winning some football games with Jameis, man. And it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch.
If they do actually go on a heater and make the playoffs, is it too late for Stefanski to win Coach of the Year a third time? Basically, all he needs is just give me a backup quarterback.
If he were to turn their season around based off of – now, I wonder who gets to take credit for the decisions, though. He is making the decisions, but –
Well, and in this case, it wasn't really a decision. It was kind of made for them when Deshaun got hurt.
Yeah. I mean, they could have went to the second one. What's his or they,
DTR?
And he
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Hurt his finger.
And he
got hurt last week.
He's hurt too.
Yeah.
And he could have kept calling the plays. I think he's really trying to figure out what he can do to salvage the season. And if he doesn't, I mean, the question is, you're talking about Coach of the Year. Does he maintain his job? Does he retain his position?
What can he do to salvage
I was
the
actually
season?
going to argue this, Jonas.
Yeah.
If their season didn't turn around last year, I felt like they could have moved on from him last year, based on how things went.
So if it doesn't turn around this year, does he return? Does he retain? Does he return as the coach next year?
I think relinquishing your play calling duties when that's your calling card, it can be looked at in one of two ways. You're either looking at it saying you want to find someone built in who you could fire because it's them calling the plays, not you. Otherwise, if you keep calling plays, eventually they're going to be like, you're the problem. So I kind of look at it.
So he's sacrificing Dorsey.
Potentially. I mean, you could also make the case that he fired himself and now he's hiring, now he's bringing on a guy who's the named offensive play caller to call plays. So maybe in his mind, he's already fired himself. That was one of the moves that they came to him and said that.
Take a loss to take a win.
Right.
Damn.
I'm excited for Jameis. I'm excited for Browns fans with Jameis. I mean, whatever even happens on the field, we're gonna get some great sound bites.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be so much fun.
He's passionate about his.
He's the best. He's the absolute best. I love Jameis, man.
And you got to be careful, Browns fans. You got to behave correctly, or else people on certain networks will criticize you for your behavior at games.
Who would do that?
I don't know. Who would ever do that? Who's a big enough blowhard to speak out on every single issue that ever comes up in the NFL?
Dang.
I don't know.
Can you actually just name who you're saying? Because I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Ryan Clark.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay.
Golly.
Yeah.
Dang.
Here's the reality: is everyone's got an opinion on something, and it feels like they need to voice it all the time.
Dang.
All the time.
Just,
I mean, there's some people who feel like they invented the game of football that talk about it.
it's just,
Dang. Or sports. On top of that, they invented sports.
It's like
and can be an authority in.
It happens on every network. All right, I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
I mean,
but like
we got people on our own network who are telling people that they can't light cigars with a match, which I'm like,
that's
yeah, bro. There's matches specifically designed for lighting cigars. Yeah, yeah. It goes on everywhere. Like we can't live in a glass house because it could easily come back our way at Fox.
I live in a tree house, So
that's smart.
I don't throw
the
from
high ground.
I don't throw through a glass.
What do you
house.
got
I
up
just
there,
drop
huh? You got some of Lee's old nudie mags up there too.
Oh, sweet.
I got enough hydro.
Good
flask
housekeeping?
up in there
Yeah.
to stay hydrated. I'll
Yeah,
tell
you
that.
do.
Yeah. Got that